Hello and welcome. This is video number 367. In this video, I am going to discuss indicators of development with a new view of development. The new view about the development process suggests that one cannot capture the process of development by just per capita income approach. It cannot reflect the multi-dimensional nature of the development process. In recent years, a number of different types of measures have been developed to better understand and reflect the multidimensional nature of the process of development. Therefore, in this video, we will study extensively some of these measures, and we will also see that these measures are much better than per capita income approach in reflecting the process of development and quality of life. However, these are still evolving and should be taken as work in progress. Indicators of development includes the adequate educational levels, that is, people should have access to education, and when there are more and more people with the sufficient level of education, this is one of the indicators of development. Another indicator of development is freedom of speech and freedom from servitude. Citizenship of a country that is truly independent both economically and politically, that is also one of the indicators of development. Other conditions are sense of security and freedom of worship and so on. Now the question is, which way now? As we discussed earlier also, that the process of economic development has to be concerned with what people can and what people cannot do. For example, whether they can live long, escape avoidable morbidity, be well nourished, be able to read and write and communicate, take part in literary and scientific pursuits, and so on. Some other indicators of development are include, for example, reduction in poverty, and we can say, how do we measure if someone is poor? So one approach is a head count ratio, and it means proportion of population below the poverty line. But this is not sufficient because this does not concern with the depth of poverty. So we also have income gap ratio, and income gap ratio measures the depth of poverty by the extent of the gap between the poverty line and the average income of the poor as a proportion of the poverty line. So there are some key definitions, and first we discuss the definition of poverty line. According to development economists, the percentage of population living below the specified poverty line is known as poverty line. And for example, $1 a day at 1994 international prices adjusted for the purchasing power parity is known as the poverty line. So if the percentage of population lives on less than $1 a day, then these people are known as those who are below the poverty line. There are some other composite measures used to describe development, and one of them is HDI, that is Human Development Index. Another is Gender Development Index. One is Gender Empowerment Index, and there is Human Poverty Index. So we will discuss this one by one. Human Development Index measures average achievement of a country in basic human capabilities, health, income distribution, and education. That is, in Human Development Index, we include measure of health, measure of income distribution, and level of education or literacy. Then we have Gender Development Index, and it measures achievements in same capabilities as HDI, but they take into account inequalities between men and women. Gender Development Index can also be thought of as a discounted Human Development Index. Then we have Gender Empowerment Measure, which examines whether men and women are able to actively participate in economic and political life and take part in decision making or not. Finally, we have Human Poverty Index, that is abbreviated as HPI, and it includes number one, longevity. So Human Poverty Index uses certain percentage of people expected to die before the age of 40. It also includes knowledge as a rate of illiteracy and lack of decent standard of living, which is a composite index that includes some percent of people with access to health service and safe water, and percent of malnourished children below the age of 5 years. So we are concerned with the development that is sustainable. So we have already defined this, that what is sustainable development, but once again, according to Sear's definition of development, it is to be concerned with the creating conditions for realization of human personality. We have also used the UNEP definition of sustainable development in the previous video. So what is sustainability of development? Sustainability is a characteristic of a process or a state that can be maintained indefinitely. That is, the development will not only be focusing on the current generation, but it must also leave some resources for the future generation. So there may be intergenerational equity, and that must be sustainable. So sustainability therefore refers to the process or a state which is not constrained by time or space. So the question is, why sustainable economic development, and why we should be concerned with sustainable economic development? So I leave these questions for my students and followers. They should understand, why do we need sustainable economic development? What is the justification of sustainable economic development? Why not only development, and why we are concerned with the sustainable economic development? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching this video. Kindly subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to click on the bell icon so that you can get timely notification about my other videos that I'll upload for you. Thanks for watching, and see you in another video.